Okay. So yeah, you guys, like I was saying, it's really awful to go through that. So as soon as I felt blood, I went to the restroom because, like I said, I needed to go to the restroom, and then I had the urges to go. So as soon as I went to the restroom, um, a big blood cloth came out. You know, it was scary. I just felt something like boom, like something come down, and it was literally, you guys, like that big. Wait, let me show you guys. It was like that big. It was big, and I got so scared, and I started crying immediately because I thought that it was my baby. I thought that was my baby that had, that I had just miscarried my baby, and it came out, So I told my husband, because we live with my parents, I told him to go wake my mom up, but she had already woken up because she had heard me cry, and it was just hard to see my mom go through that because she didn't know what to do. She was like, "Oh, it's okay, mija, like relax, And then my dad woke up and he was like, "Come on, let's take her to the hospital." Um, uh, for many of you guys, you guys don't know. Obviously, you guys don't know that this is gonna be my first baby. It was gonna be my first baby, and I have 6 brothers and sisters. 2 boys, 2 brothers, and 4 sisters. And none of them are married, and none of them have babies. I was gonna be the first one to have a baby, and I am the first one to be married. So as you guys know, when my baby was really wanted, so they rushed me to the hospital, and when I was in the hospital, this was the hardest thing that I ever been through. When I went to the hospital, they put me on the bed, and they asked me what had happened. I just told them, and they saw blood. I had to change. Obviously, I changed before I went to the hospital, and yet on my new clothing that I had changed on, I had blood. I was dripping still. I was still dripping, and I had a pad on. Yeah, that's how bad it was. But I was at the hospital at this point, and I was laying on the bed, and when I was laying on the bed, I was fine, bleeding, scared, crying, not fine. So obviously not fine, but it was gonna get worse for me. That's what I meant by that. I was fine, but I went to the so they told me that I needed an IV because you know how when you go do an ultrasound, you need to have a full bladder in order for them to see your baby. So that's why they gave me an IV, just to have a full bladder. But it hurt us so bad, you guys, because see, I don't know if you guys have been through this, but if you guys have, it's like I had a full bladder and I was squirting blood at the same time. Do you guys get it? Get the picture? Yeah, it was disgusting. I was throwing blood like crazy, and I needed to pee really bad. And at this point, I've been with this IV. It was a big water. It was a big bag of water. Like, I gotta show you guys. The camera's so little. Like, well, it was big, like big water, and all of it got empty out. And at this point, I couldn't move because I was bleeding so much, and I couldn't pee. I told my husband, "Chris, go ask the doctors to go ask them if I could go pee because I really didn't go so bad, but they didn't let me because they told me that I needed a full bladder." So I told them, "So where's the we were just waiting on the technician, on the the what, how do you call them, babe? Ultrasound tech." And it was taking forever, you guys. It literally after for like 4 hours, he finally got there. And when he was doing the ultrasound, you guys, it was painful. He had to put pressure, obviously, because you know well, first of all, I'm chunky, so I have fat, so they had to press on it. I don't know if they do it to every mother, but to me they did. They pressed on it really hard in order to see the baby's heartbeat. And when he did that, immediately I started squirting blood. It was disgusting. It was just embarrassing, and more than embarrassing, it was just like painful and hard, and I don't know where my mind was at. But I feel better when I saw my baby's heartbeat, because then I realized that that wasn't my baby, you know, and that. Oh, because I forgot to tell you guys that when I started bleeding at the house, you know that I told you guys that I took a big cloth. My sister, she got the cloth. Well, of course, she put some gloves on, and she got the cloth, and she put it in a plastic bag, and she brought it with us, so we could bring it with us on the hospital. And I also remember the doctor like going like that to the blood cloth, like destroying the blood cloth, just to make sure that it was nothing, you know, to see what it was, if it was tissue, like to see if it was my baby too, I guess. And it wasn't, but still I didn't feel comfortable until I saw my baby's heartbeat. So once I saw my baby's heartbeat, I feel better, you know. But the sad part was, you guys, that the technician told me, well, there's your baby's heartbeat, but don't get your hopes up, you know. And I feel like, I was like, what do you mean don't get my hopes up, you know? I was like, but I guess, you know, I got mad at him saying me that, but I guess now that I think about it, he was really trying to help us, you know, like, really don't get your hopes up, you know. But to a new mother that's been going through that stuff, how would you know, you know? So the next day, it was a mess after that, but anyways, just to make the story short, the next day I went to my OBG, and he had checked me, and that was actually on I have it written down on my calendar, and it was on the 10th. And it was a Monday. I went to my OBG, and I told them that what had happened, and he told me, see, I told you guys on Channel 6 that was going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I'm pretty sure it's fine, you know. He checked to see if my baby's heartbeat was there, and it was still there, which I felt good, you know, I feel good. So, he just told us, you know, just this time, be careful, you know. We can't do nothing about it, you know. If it happens, it happens. It's because it's just a bad egg. But I don't want to hear that, you know. Who wants to hear that? I just wanted to hear that everything's going to be okay. And he was like, hopefully, you know, you're 2 months pregnant right now. Hopefully it could stay there for 1 more month, you know. Like, the hardest part of the pregnancy. Because just because you guys don't know, there's actually 3... okay. And the first 3 months of your pregnancy is the most dangerous. And the last 3 months of your pregnancy is dangerous. So, there's like 2, you know... Okay, yeah, you guys got it. So he said, if we could just get him or her to go through the 3rd month, we would be good to go, you know. And I was hoping for that to happen, but it didn't. But it didn't, because so we went home, and he told me to come back in 2 days. You know, baby, stop moving the bed. So he told me to come back in 2 days. I went back in 2 days. We went back 2 days later, and it was on the 13th of September when we went back. And unfortunately, when he was doing the ultrasound, and I remember taking my sister too, because I wanted her to see my baby's heartbeat so bad, you know, like my little sister, I wanted her to see my baby's heartbeat. And when he was checking my baby, this time he took extra longer, and I was like, why is he taking forever? And I realized that, well, he had told me that he couldn't find the baby's heartbeat, and that was so hard, you guys. It was so hard. It was like, I couldn't believe that he was telling me that, you know. I couldn't believe that he was telling me that my baby wasn't there. And it was also, like, heartbroken, because I wanted my sister to see my baby's heartbeat for the first time, you know. But it just didn't happen. And I still get teary about it because even though it's the third video, I still get teary about it because it's so hard and so traumatizing to go through something like that. My husband and I just immediately, we just started crying, you know, when we heard, like, I just couldn't believe it, you know. I was like, no, doctor, keep trying, you know. Like, in my mind, I was like, no, keep trying, you know, he's got to be there. But, you know, he wasn't gonna get back to life, you know. So it was just so hard. It was hard to go through that. So it's hard. I still remember my, you know, because being pregnant feels so awesome. Even if it's 2 months, 1 month, you know, you still feel your baby in you. If you're a mom, you understand, and you know that you feel your baby in you, and all those changes that your baby is doing to you. And for me to find out that my baby was no longer there, that his heart had stopped, I felt like a failure, you know, like, what did I do wrong? What happened, you know, like, I just felt horrible. But the doctor said that it was just normal, you know, that it happened, and that there was nothing that we could do, that he was sorry, you know, he was really compassionate on what had happened. And immediately after that, he told me, you have 2 options. One option is to wait for your baby to come out by itself. And I didn't want to do that because he told me that it takes up to 6 weeks, and I don't know, honestly, who wants to see the baby? I mean, there's many girls that actually do want to see the baby come out, but I couldn't. I just couldn't, you guys. I was like, no. And the second choice was, he told me if I wanted a DNC. If I wanted a DNC. So of course I went for the DNC, and immediately after that, I had the next day, on the 14th, I had the DNC done, and it was hard. I just remember, like, being scared because although my baby was not there anymore, he was in me still, you know, and he was no longer gonna be in me, and that was the hard part. I did not want to let go. I didn't want to let go, but I had to. So when I did that, my friend came to see me, and she had gone through 2 miscarriages, you know, and how hard it must have been for her. But I was so grateful that she was there with me, and my husband, my dad, my mom, my sister, and I was just grateful that you know, they were all there for me. But I felt special because my friend was there, and because she had gone through the same thing, you know, and she knew how I was feeling, and she was crying with me, and it was just, like, emotional. And, you know, well, that's it, you guys. That's my miscarriage story. It is now November, and we are trying to conceive again, and this is my first video, but I am going to be doing my other videos on trying to conceive, so follow me if you guys want to. You know, I know that many of you guys are trying to conceive too, that had been through a miscarriage like me, or, you know, through a stillbirth or whatever. So, you know, like, just, you know, let's, you know, help each other out. So if you guys want to follow my videos, go for it, you know. I'll be happy to hear about you guys. Thank you. Bye.